Howdy, howdy, everybody, and welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation, where I actually don't have a conversation. I guess I do. Obviously, I do. I wouldn't be hitting the record button, which I definitely did. I did, if I didn't have a conversation topic. But I don't have anything written down for, you know, due to the conversation topic today, which I have like 8 different topics I want to talk about. And this one wasn't one of them, but it's prevalent enough that I feel like I should discuss it. And that is that I, Mr. Man, have gotten myself a new cellular telephone, a new phone. Because not because I wanted one, but because I essentially needed one at this point. So I figured we're gonna go through my history of phones, how I treated them, what makes a phone my phone, you know? What do I do with my phones, and how I came to getting this new one, and if I like it or not. I've only had it for a day. I only just got it yesterday. Um, and I'll explain that. Well, I guess I'll explain it now. My previous phone, which I've had for a good amount of time, it stopped charging with most of the cables I have. The only one it charged with was very slow, so I was like, you know what? And then it also dies like that. I don't know if the snaps are catching on the microphone. I'm sure they are. It catches my fucking computer whirring around, so I'm sure it'll catch a fucking snap from like right next to the fucking microphone. But yeah, so I had to get a new phone, and that was an experience in itself. But first, I want to go back in time to when I got, well, I guess not even me getting my first phone, I guess when, like, my upbringing, you know, and how phones sort of played into that. Which, let me tell you, for me, didn't, like, at all. I got my first phone in 8th grade, so, like, just about, like, my final year of, like, middle school going into high school, I guess junior high, going into high school. And it was, like, kind of early on in there, but also not. And at first, like, they tried to getting like a track phone, you know, like one of those like things you just buy minutes for, but somehow that was too confusing for my ma and us as children. So we just said screw it, and we got a phone, which I'll explain later. But first, I need to talk about my older sister, right? Because my older sister, she was the one with the phone. Right? I mean, like if there was a phone in the house, if you just happened to walk by and see a phone, it belonged to my sister. That's just how it was. Like I knew my dad had a phone. Like it's like, but I didn't know the number. It was like you didn't need us to call there. We had a home phone, which I still remember the phone number of, and I don't know if it's still in service, so I'm not gonna say it. But it's not linked to me anymore, so big whoop. Who cares? Uh, but yeah. So we didn't really. I was never really endowed. I was never given a phone for a while. My older sister though, she's only like a year older than me, but she's still older, and I have a twin sister, so it's good to make that making that distinction is important. But yeah, she got a phone like every other few months to like a year, and the main reason is because they kept fucking breaking on her, mostly out of her control. But I mean, I guess it's a responsibility, you know. You take it when you get a phone, you're kind of responsible for where it is and how you treat it and how you just have it out and about, I guess. So anything can happen. So many times her phone had been dipped into a glass of water by my younger brother just because he thought it'd be cool or funny or something. I honestly wouldn't even know the reason why. He just did it. And then there's times where she'd drop it. There's times where it would just stop charging. There's times where the screen would go off and then it just wouldn't work anymore. My dad probably had to buy her like a dozen phones from like age 6 to like age 9. She had she had a new phone with a new case every like quarter of the year, and it was funny. And eventually, though, she would stick with one phone. I don't remember what it was, but eventually that one also broke on her. But It wasn't like broken. It was broken to the point where she had to get it fixed, but it wasn't broken to the point where she had to get a whole new one. Like it was still salvageable. And she doesn't let me live this down. So, she just came home, and she wasn't even up the stairs yet. Like, cause we all knew she was going out to get her phone fixed. So we were all like, "Oh shoot, when she comes back, she can have like her phone again. It's gonna be so cool." And so the bell rings. So like she's here. She wants in. We open the door for her, because that's how like apartments work. Just like a bell system, and then when you have like a thing up top, so you can like talk to the bell, see who it is, and you can also just let them in. Um, but I and I think my older brother too. Like he waited like right outside the door. I went like down the stairs to try to catch her halfway so I could see this thing because I didn't think I think I don't remember if I had a phone at that point. Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think I had a phone at this point. Either that or I just got one. It was I don't remember when it was exactly, but all I remember what happened next was I'm like, did you get your phone fixed? And she holds it up, and I'm like, cool, I want to see. And this still is true today. I have very horrible hand-eye coordination, or just generally, I'm not good with my hands, which is sad because I like using my hands for things. But yeah, so what happens is I go to try to grab the phone so I can see. Oh, she didn't even say yes. I was just an asshole and was like, I want to see, and I smack it out of her hand. It falls onto onto the stair. It didn't even fall down multiple steps. It landed on the stair, and the whole screen came off. The whole thing came up. I broke it. I broke it again. She just came home. Probably spent who knows how much money trying to fix this thing, and then only for her to get stopped halfway by the Demogorgon, who just fucking just throws her phone to the ground, snaps it in half. It was, she was so pissed. She didn't like fucking go bananas, but I know she wanted to. But holy shit, it was thinking back on it, the funniest thing. Absolutely the funniest thing that's happened. But, at the time I was terrified because I thought she was going to go apeshit. Because, I mean, who wouldn't? You literally just went to get that phone fixed. You come back, and for whatever reason, you don't have the case off because I guess you want to be like, look, it's fixed. Everything's great now. You're going to show your family. They're going to be like, wow, that's awesome. And you just go about your day. But no, she's a fucking he-demon over there. Fucking storms down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna send your phone. Slap it out of her hand like a fucking crazy person. But yeah, so that was her phones. Like they always wound up breaking. I think very few of them were because she herself screwed something up or like dropped it or whatever. I guess she technically dropped that last one, but some tells me that wouldn't fly with most people's descriptions of fucking up your own phone, which is fair, which is very fair. But we have my phones to talk about now, because I mean, everyone like I have an older brother. He didn't even have a phone. Like he's older than my older sister, and he didn't even have a phone until like when she got like her final one, or like everyone, like then they both got a phone, and then we were like, all right, y'all keeping that one for a good while anyway. But, yeah, God, I hate that. Stop doing that. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so on my phones. So, as I said, I didn't get a phone till 8th grade. So, like, fresh off the boat. I'm just there doing my everyday things. But I don't have, like, a phone. Which, I'm gonna be completely frank. I still think this, but obviously now that I have a phone, it's definitely been incorporated more in my life. But I don't think it's necessary to have a phone. I don't want a phone. I have it for like a phone call in case I need it and just to watch some dumb videos. Like I don't use social media very much. I talk to like my few very limited friends on it. But other than that, it's like I don't use the damn thing. So why get something crazy and fancy? That's why I was like, okay, you know what, a track phone will be fine. Like a flip phone, I honestly like flip phones. I like the look of them. I like the style of them, and honestly, I would like a flip phone. Obviously now with like fucking YouTube and funky cameras and stuff, flip phones are mostly dead. They have that fucking that smartphone that folds, but I couldn't imagine buying that. I would snap that thing in half super fast. Like when I got my first 3DS, I had spent all day, like I got my first 3DS on Christmas, and I think the next year's Christmas I got Pokemon X, and I fucking played that like for to like I got to like the sixth gym. Like I literally didn't put it down, and I wouldn't have put it down. I would have finished it all that day. I fucking speed ran that game, but also like taking in every moment. Like holy shit, this is so fucking cool. And I got to like the sixth around the sixth gym, and out of fucking I go to like fold the thing down so I go take a pee, and I snap the screen off. I just snapped the entire top of the 3DS off the thing. And that was like the Mario and Luigi Silver like Dream Team Edition one. So that was a cool fucking 3DS that I literally just snapped in twain because I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. But yeah, so back to my phone. My first track phone was a flip phone, and I managed to get it working just fine. Because I'm not that stupid, but it also wasn't that great. It wasn't a lot of things calling didn't work very well on it. I don't know why. I don't know if we got a really shitty one, but I remember my sister, my twin sister this time, got a smartphone track phone thing, and she immediately locked herself out of the phone. Like literally immediately locked herself out of the phone. Because you could put a PIN number on it to like for like the lock screens, so that way no one can get into your phone. And she did that, and not even a minute goes by where she turns off the phone and turns it back on, and she's like, "Oh, there's a PIN number." I forgot the PIN number. And we're all just sitting there like, "No, you did not. You did not forget the PIN. Come on, you didn't forget the PIN number." Everyone was like, going. Everyone like. Half of us were laughing, half of us were like, "You gotta be kidding me." And by half, I mean I was the half laughing, and my mom was the half, like, not being very happy about that. So, what happened is I had to give her my phone, like the flip phone that I got, and then she went to get me a different flip phone, like a couple days later. So, because at that point she was like, "We're not getting the smartphone ones. You're not locking yourself out of it again. Just give her that one. You already set it up to set up another one." I'm like, alright, fine, whatever. So I gave her that phone. So technically, I still didn't even have a phone at that point. That was my first phone, and I had to give it up within 10 minutes of setting it up and having it ready for me. So that was a good first introduction to that lifestyle. But, hey, I get it. And then I had that for like a few months of, like, not college, fucking junior high, 8th grade. I had that for like a few months of 8th grade. But then she's like, "Alright, fine, we'll pimp you out. We're gonna pimp you guys out." And she got us 2 Samsung Galaxy S7s. The S7, I think this is in like 2016-ish time. To 15, 16, I would say. I don't actually know. When was I in 8th grade? I was 15. It would be 15 going into 16. Yeah, so it was it was new at the time. So it was probably fairly expensive, but I didn't go with them to the phone store. In fact, I remember the phone call that we had to take on the home phone because my mom went to T-Mobile with my, I think, older sister, and they needed an email to set up the phone. And we didn't have an email, so neither of us took it very seriously. So we just gave him some very silly named emails, which I'm not going to name, because I still use mine, and I'm sure she still uses hers, so I'm I'm not gonna just give that to people. That'd be stupid. That would be very stupid. But what I will say is that I got us a phone. So hey, somehow that worked, and we have those emails still, and we have those. Well, I actually still have that phone. I still have it. I don't use it, obviously, but I still do have it for whatever reason. It still works. It works decently well. Oh, actually, that's a completely good point. This isn't even the first one I got. The first one I got, I had for probably like a year or so, and then my family, my aunt, and my a couple of my cousins, and like my entire like home family, so like my brother, sister's mom, we all went to Sesame Place, which is like a Sesame Street theme park, which is the fucking greatest thing to exist, if you ask me. I fucking Sesame Street is such a joy of a show, and the fucking theme park was amazing. Maybe I'll talk about theme parks and my experience with them, because I have not exactly a lot of crazy ones, but just a lot of stupid things to say, I guess. So maybe I'll do that at some point. But regardless, um, I I didn't have like a backpack or anything on me. I just had like lunch and my phone. That was really all I would bring to this place. That's all I really needed. And so I put those in the same bag. And when the time came for us to eat, I ate, and I put my trash back in my bag, my fucking black plastic bag, with my phone in it, and I went on with my life. I went to go like into the water or something, and my mom cleaned up, and she didn't know my phone was in this bag of trash, so she just threw it away. She threw out the bag, and I didn't really notice till like an hour later when I like wanted my phone, because I don't know why. I want to take a picture with somebody or whatever, like maybe Grover, because Grover is the best fucking Muppet in the world, or like a Sesame Street Muppet. And don't at me. But yeah, so I can't find my phone. It's gone. So we have to cancel that. We have to get a new one. And so we do. We get this new phone. You know, like we get home fairly late, and the first thing we have to do is cancel that phone and start a new one. So I'm sure my mom wasn't very happy about it, but she was also like not pissed off about it. So that's good. Then we get the new phone, and that was the one I had for a long time. And I got with it a very, very good case. Like, not like a hard exterior, super brick thing. It was like a gel case, but not like a gel case, but it was like a limber one, like a flaccid case that would like fucking just like I can't describe it in a way that doesn't make it sound awful, but it was the fucking bomb.com. Alright, that case was incredible. And the only reason I really know that is because for the entire time I had that case on my phone, which was like a good, like, at least like a year or two, probably close to 2 years, 2.5. Actually, no, it wouldn't be that long, because I didn't really have the phone for that long. For like the time I had that phone, like if I say like a year and a half, I threw that phone everywhere and anywhere. I'd throw it at the light to try to turn it off. I'd throw it across the room just because I thought it was funny. And whenever I go out with my friends, I just throw it around. I'm like, hey, look at my phone. You want to see my phone? I just throw it at them. I just throw it at them. And I'm purposely missing them so that way it just hit the ground and not break, because that fucking case was amazing. And it never once failed me. It never once failed me. So until it eventually took enough damage and started breaking, and I had to get a new case, which is it's a shame. But one particular moment that I have in my head of when I would throw around my phone was when me and my friends were on the boardwalk in Coney Island, just kind of walking and talking and eating and having a good time. Keep in mind, it wasn't summer, so Lunar Park over there wasn't open. And so we were just kind of walking and like looking at the sand. I don't think we went in the sand because fucking who likes sand? No one likes the beach because of the sand. They like the beach because of the vibe and the water and just hanging out with friends and stuff. But so we were on the boardwalk, just walking and talking, and I'd just be throwing my phone like a fucking yo-yo, you know. I literally the entire walk, I was literally just chucking my phone as hard as I could at the ground, just slamming it, and it wouldn't break. It was awesome. It was fun. I was just like, this is like a fucking, it's like I'm throwing a dead ball, you know, like a ball with like a hole in it, so it doesn't really bounce as good, but it still has some as give to it. So you just keep thinking, oh, if I throw it at a certain angle, a certain strength, maybe it'll work. But it didn't. It's a phone, not a ball. I'm not talking about a ball, I'm talking about a phone. And eventually, during this walk, I was pretty far back for some reason. So as I'm catching up to my friends, I see one of them is on like the other end of the boardwalk. Like I'm on one end of it, he's on the other. So I try to like slide my phone across the boardwalk to him, just because I don't know, I'm an idiot. And it like just barely, like it starts fucking flying towards him, and it goes to the edge of the boardwalk, and just barely teeters on that. And I'm at this point, I see the trajectory it's going in. I'm sprinting to that fucking phone to make sure it doesn't fall, because below it is a gate that drops it into Lunar Park, which isn't open because it's like fucking February at that point. So I would have to wait months to get that back, and I'd be lucky if it was even there. But luckily, it didn't do that. It like stayed on the edge long enough for me to just go at it and grab it and be like, okay, we're putting this away today. What the hell? Huh. Neat. But yeah, so a very idiot like performance, because that's pretty much the gist for me. Not the smartest tool in the shed. And that phone lasted a while. As I said, I still have it, so obviously it's not broken. At one point, though, the camera broke, like on the back end of the camera. And I don't know why, because I literally just had it in my pocket going to school one day. And I took it out, and I just feel the back of my phone, and like it's a bunch of like shrapnel almost. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Apparently, what my head is telling me is that I fucking shattered it with like a pencil or something in my pocket. I didn't just put pencils back in my bag. I throw them in my fucking pocket and just keep them in there and be like, oh, cool pencil. So I'm assuming when I sat down at one point, the pencil kind of like slid up against the fucking like the glass of the camera and just fucking shattered it. But I didn't hear or see it, so I have no. I cannot confirm or deny it. So hard to say, really. But yeah, so that broke, and which I still had for a while, but the camera went down in quality, and it was already a pretty shitty phone. Well, it wasn't a shitty phone, but the camera wasn't the best anyway. But it was good for what the time, but it wasn't anymore. So, you know, it's this then prompted one of my friends, who's super cool, and he got a new phone around like a couple months later after that incident. So he gave me his old one because he knew that my camera was fucking in pieces. So he's like, hey, you know, this one's is pretty good. It's better than a fucking broken one. And I was like, oh, thank you. And to his credit, it kind of was. It was pretty much the same, honestly. But, I mean, hey, it's not broken, so I'm not going to complain. And it's awesome. It was a cool phone. It was like, it's an LG V20. An LG V20 came out in 2016. And I fucking had that thing for a long time. And one of the coolest things about it was that it had like a button on the back of the phone that you'd use to turn it on, and it also had like a fingerprint sensor thing, so you can like set fingerprints. So like, I would literally just go to grab my phone, and I'd like touch the back of it with my finger, and then it would just turn on for me. I wouldn't have to like hit any buttons or anything. It was fucking awesome. It was so cool. I loved that. That's literally the coolest thing about any phone that I've ever had. It's just so convenient, so easy. And that thing lasted a long time. Long enough, in fact, to have been the phone that shitted out on me yesterday. So I had that phone from like 2016, 2017 till now. So it was like a 6-year-old phone at this point, and I had it for at least 4.5, 5 years. I had it since high school, and then some. So it's been a bit. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. It's like early high school. So that would be like 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be at least 5 years, at least. Like 4 or 5. It would be 4 to 5 years. So at this point. Just trying to remember how time works. It's not very good. I'm not very good at things. But yeah, so it's been like 4 or 5 years for me having this phone. And, it was good. When I first got it, it was great. And as I started using it more, I started realizing why people get a new phone every year. And that's because this thing's battery, after like a couple years, was next to non-existent. And this is also how old it was. That you can like take the back off and see the battery. You'd like be able to take the battery out, which I still think is a fucking top-notch idea because it's so much easier to fix if you have a battery problem. Like I could have just gotten a new battery, and that phone would have lasted me another fucking who knows how long. But they don't make them anymore. And if I needed one, I'd probably have to go on eBay. And I didn't go to the eBay store. I went to T-Mobile. So I've bit myself in the ass going there, I guess. But it was. I'm still not. I'm okay with the decision. So an upgrade was necessary at some point. That camera quality was awful. That was the camera that you would have seen in the last Stranded Deep with the NSP concert. That was that camera. So yeah, not the best quality. But now I have this cool one, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I'm gonna keep talking about that phone for a second, because that phone was something, Like, quite literally, when I said it pretty much didn't have a battery, I mean it. Like that thing, like towards the last fucking fragments of its life, like whenever I would use that thing, like just to watch like a YouTube video, it would lose like 40 to like 60% of it, like just watching like a 10-minute, 15-minute YouTube video. Like it would literally just lose it all. Like almost the entire battery is dead by the time I watched 1 or 2 videos tops. It was bad. It was actually bad. And I didn't get it. I don't know. I don't understand why. If I didn't have it on, like I listened to like Spotify, as long as the screen wasn't on, it didn't die that fast. Unless it was feeling a little rowdy, in which case it would just kill itself just naturally in my bag. Like I would lose like 40% just walking from like home to work. Like I would lose like 20 to 40% on any given day just walking, like with the phone off sometimes. So the phone just turned like nothing even happening. Because I was so afraid of it fucking just dying on the way. But it's not a great phone. At this point, it wasn't a great phone. But I still loved it for a few reasons. One is that the back thing was really cool. Second, my friend gave it to me, and I liked that. Third, I just got in a case for it like a year ago, because with one case that I had for it that my friend gave me with the phone, it eventually fucking broke off. So I had to, find another case, which I couldn't do in any store, because it didn't really occurred to me in my head that no one in like 2020 is gonna sell a fucking phone case for a 2016 phone, which is just bizarre to me. Because like a video game console will be out for like 5 years, and like even after it's like phased out to the next one, this game stops, and like Walmart's still selling the same like the shit for that game or that fucking whatever. But a phone, the moment a new one from that company comes out, or the moment that phone gets like a year, maybe even 2 years old, every accessory, every thing about that phone is gone from the market. It's just gone. It's fucking crazy. It's actually crazy. But luckily, my sister ordered one off Amazon for me, and it's a really cool case. But yeah, I had that for a bit. But yeah, so that phone was old. That phone was pretty old. So old, in fact, that I guess we can get into the new phone that I have now. Actually, no. One more reason why I like that phone is because Card Wars, a Adventure Time game on the Play Store, that no longer exists on the Play Store, by the way. They got rid of it. Now, all of my save data is on that phone. So I have it on this new phone, but I haven't opened it. But the last time I tried opening a new Card Wars, but like signing into my account, it didn't save any of my progress over. So I still have that old phone, and I'm probably just gonna play Card Wars on it. That's probably all I'm gonna use that phone for. So I'm gonna have it in the back burner, just ready to play Card Wars until it dies and doesn't charge anymore, like for good, and then I'll just be really sad. I still have to get all my memos off that thing, because it didn't save my memos when I fucking transferred all my data. It didn't give me my memos. And I have so many fucking ideas for like videos or just other silly things. I need to keep those. So I'm gonna either write them down or I'm gonna throw them into this new phone. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna take a long time. Cause I have a lot of memos. Oops, that's my phone. I didn't get a fucking screen protector. I forgot to get a screen protector. He even reminded me to get one, the guy who was there, but I just forgot. You know, I was like, oh yeah, he's like a case or a screen protector. I'm like, oh yeah, a case would be nice. And then I just fucking completely washed over a screen protector idea. So let's get to this. So we get to the T-Mobile pretty early. Like it's like, maybe not pretty early. It's like 1 o'clock, 12:30 to 1. So not early at all. Actually, it's like fucking noon. And we were like, yeah, we gotta get me a new phone. In my head, I was like, you know, I'm gonna see what they have. If there's something that's not too expensive, I'll get it. But if there's something, like, if everything's like fairly expensive, I'll wait. But at the same time, also is like, I shouldn't wait because I don't know if this phone's gonna even charge when I get home. So maybe I shouldn't wait. But I didn't, obviously, 'cause I have a new phone. So thank goodness I did that, because that would have been a dumb idea, I'm sure, if to not get a new phone. But yeah, so I'm just chilling, you know. We get into we go into what my sister thinks is the wrong door to the T-Mobile, because there's like we just kept going through like a hallway with like a bathroom in it and like an office that like people were having like a meeting in, and we just walked by and we're like, is this the right place? I don't know. But yeah, we were just idiots. But it was a right door, because then we walk into the actual store bit and like, oh hey, how can I help you? And I was like, yeah, my phone's not really working anymore. You know, it's pretty old, so, and I guess I kind of need a new one. It doesn't have to be too fancy or anything. Just something like a nice, cheap, but like reliable replacement for it. And the guy who comes to help, he's like, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll take a look. And don't get me wrong, this guy was just something else. You know, like, getting up to the phone, choosing and stuff, he was fine. Great dude. He knew what he was talking about. Like, he showed me, like, the new Samsungs and stuff, and the new Apples. Like, no, I just want Samsung, because I don't do Apple phones. I don't do Apple devices. The only Apple device my family's ever had is an iPad, and that didn't last very long, so. But yeah, so he showed me the new Samsungs, like $1,000 for this, 800 for that, 1,300 for this, and I was like, you know, that $700 one, about as much I was expecting to spend, but is there any other options? And he brings me to another, like, sort of display-ish area, but of, like, cheaper phones, but not, still nothing bad, you know? And he shows me all these phones, and for $450, there was a Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. And I'm like, oh, $450 for a phone that looks pretty good, new, and nice. Yeah, we'll grab that. So I look at it for a while. I'm like, can I touch it? And he's like, yeah, go for it. I'm like, yeah, touch it. Don't touch it. And I touched it, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And the camera quality's fairly good, actually. I mean, it's not as good as my sister's phone, because she got one of the new Galaxy S funky ones. So, I mean, obviously she can have a better fucking camera than me on that thing. But yeah, this one's still fairly new, and it's fairly cheap, and I like it that way, because it means it's gonna last a bit, but it didn't break my bank, so I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, so new phone, and the dude's setting it up, because he was like, do you want like a case or a protector or anything like that? And I'm like, oh yeah, case. So he got me a case, like $40 for like a fucking clear case that just goes around the phone, not even a screen protector. I forgot about the screen protector. I'm gonna have to go back or something to see about a screen protector, because I know I'm gonna fuck up my phone at some point. And not having a screen protector is gonna be a fucking son of a bitch. Uh, but yeah. But yeah. So, but towards the end, he's like, "Oh, do you want me to, do you want us to transfer your data here, or would you rather just do it at home?" And in my head, I was like, "Oh, well, I mean, I don't have much to transfer. I mean, all my photos are already on Google Photos, so I didn't really care too much about that. And contacts, I was gonna look forward to cutting down anyway, but." And my sister was like, we had to do it for mine. It took like an hour, so I would probably just do it here, just so you don't waste too much time at home. I'm like, alright, fine, whatever. And this guy, as I said, I have an old phone, so obviously there were some issues there. Such as the guy, quite literally, didn't know how to like do anything with my phone. He didn't know how to turn it on. He didn't know how to open it. Like when I opened that thing and he saw that there was still like a battery in it, which to me isn't fucking wild at all. It's a device. You open it, you find the battery, and you can change it out and shit. But for my sister and that guy, it's like, oh, you can still like access the battery. Wow, that really is an old piece of technology, a really old phone. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, it's not that old, right? Like, I don't understand how that is like a sign that a phone is old, that you can freaking access the inside of it, like to such a certain degree, and that's good. He's like, what are the fucking battery screws? You're gonna have to fucking send your phone in for like hundreds of dollars and get it fixed that way instead of just changing the battery yourself. But I digress. He opens it, he takes the SIM card out, he pops it into the new phone, and he starts doing some weird shit with like the Wi-Fi. And he tries, and I understand where something went wrong with his stuff. He tried like hooking him up with cable, so that way like he can transfer the data and stuff, and then it just be linked together. The problem with that was that I completely forgot about this, so I didn't bring the wire that worked. But the wire that worked was not the one he was using to plug in, so it didn't even recognize that it was plugged into anything. And I only noticed this after I tried plugging it into something my old one into something at home, and it wasn't working. But so he's like, all right, we'll just try Wi-Fi. And this dude I have to like go into the settings for him, find these specific things for him. He knew where some things were, so like I can't say he did nothing. And he got it set up to the point where like I was able to like access my Google stuff. My photos were on Google Photos, so all that was set up. It's just like the contacts, the apps and stuff weren't there. And he was like, you might have to like, download all your apps again and like put your contacts back in, which he thought he did. But at one point he was just like, they'll probably show up. He was fairly confident that they'd show up again. And to be fair, they eventually did, because when I got home, I was like, all right, he must have done like I don't know what he was doing, and I'm sure he knew what he was doing, but again, he was like every step of the way, he's like, yeah, this phone's a little too old for it to recognize it or something, which was obviously an excuse, but I understand it. So I'm not saying the guy did a bad job. He was still very, very nice about it. He was very helpful. It's just not in this situation, I guess. Because then when I went home and I tried to plug it in, I'm like, oh, right, because obviously not all the data was brought onto the phone. So I was like, maybe I can just do it. Because on the phone, the new phone, whenever I'd scroll down to like see like the feed on the top, it was always like, finish setting up your phone. And it would be like, send all your data from your old phone to this phone. And I'm like, alright, fine, I'll do it. And I go home and I try to plug it in, and that shit didn't work. So I try Wi-Fi. It starts trying to connect, but it's like connect using the same Wi-Fi, and I hit connect on both phones, and then it worked. And then it just started transferring it, and then it stopped abruptly. So then I had to do it all over again. But then it finished in like 2 minutes. So I was like, hey, I'm not an idiot. I understand. I figured it out. So my phone started downloading all the old apps on it, thank God, because I would have lost Card Wars, but now I can at least play Card Wars on 2 different devices, including my computer, which means 3, so kind of a big deal. But yeah, all my contacts are saved, all my photos from the gallery are still on there, even though they were already in Google Photos, including a lot more photos that I like on Google Photos. It's nice, it's nice, it's nice, it's nice, I'll say that, it's nice. But the main takeaway this phone's pretty cool. I mean, it has fingerprint stuff. It's on the very bottom of the screen by the home thing, which is fine, I guess. It's not the back, so it's very confusing. I keep touching the back thinking I can turn my phone on like that, but it's not how it works. It has a bunch of different cameras on it. It's got 3 cameras and 2 other things. I think one's a flashlight. I don't know what this 4th one is. Maybe it's another camera. Who really knows? My old one had 1 camera, so, you know, a little confused to how that works, but hey, the more cameras, the better, I guess. I'm one of those people who has a million cameras on their phone now. It's cool, I guess. But yeah, my phone is cool. It's new. It's got some funky stuff. I put on some like personalized sounds to it, even though I like 99% of the time I have my sound off because I don't like hearing that I have a phone call or a text message waiting for me. I'd rather just open the phone and be like, someone tried to call me. Because I don't care. I don't care if people call me, unless it's like my family or someone saved into my contacts. If some random number's calling me, I'm not picking it up. If they are important, they will leave a voicemail. Right? Like a saved contact, like a friend or a family member or a coworker, fine. Yeah, you're calling me. I get it. Hey, how's it going? But anyone else, you can just go fucking the voicemail. I don't care about you. Which I feel like is fair. And I feel like it isn't rude in the slightest. Because, I mean, hey, they're not saved to my phone. So why would I care about what they have to say, you know? Just makes sense. I feel like that makes sense. But yeah. I say but yeah a lot, don't I? Because I'm constantly losing myself in my own head, and I get quiet for like 20 seconds, I get confused, and I'm like, shit, I'm not talking, I'm just thinking in my own head. But yeah, no, god damn it, yep, see, there it goes again. So, there we go, that's different. So, this new phone, it's cool. It cost me in total like a little over 500, like 550. He charged me for his services trying to set up my phone, which I think is kind of a scam, but at the same time, I don't care. You know, the dude he tried, and that's all you can really ask for. So I'm not mad at him at all for charging me for it. My sister wasn't very happy about it, but it's my money, so I don't really care. I gave him the opportunity to do it. He did what he could. I respect it. Whatever. But yeah. Shut up, a bitch. I gotta stop doing that. That's bugging me so much now. So, I'm just gonna say so. I'm just gonna say like every... I don't know. So, in conclusion, R.I.P. my old phone. I love that thing. I still have it. I still have my Samsung S7. So, I don't know, I'm not hoarding them. I actually was planning on giving my S7 to one of my cousins, but he never got back to me on if he wanted it or not. So I just assumed he got a new phone on his own, and it was way better. Because keep in mind, I was gonna give that thing to him, like 2018 or 19 or something. So would have been a fairly old phone at that point. It was already old in 2016 when I had it. So, but it wasn't. It's just yeah. But either way, right? Either way, I'm tired, as you can tell. I'm always tired. Sorry about constantly yawning. It's just sort of how I am. No. But, so, yeah. If there's anything else I'd have to say to you guys, it is stay tuned. And also, I guess, I apologize for missing the upload yesterday. I'm still fairly sick. I'm a lot better now, but I've been fairly sick, as you can probably tell from the last couple of videos. I've been sneezing and coughing and a lot, and just snorting and shit. I'm still not at 100%, but I'm enough where I can actually just talk and not cough and sneeze and snizzle all throughout the video. At least I think. So, here's hoping that every 10 seconds is it a or something like that, because my nose is still a little clogged. So hopefully I haven't been doing that too much. I haven't really been paying attention. So, if it is, I apologize, but do stay tuned, because I have some stuff in the works for some fun things, for some fun ideas that are different than what I've done before. at least slightly. So I really think it'll be fun. I don't know when they're coming out. Hopefully something drops in another couple days. But I can't say for sure because when I go to, I'm not gonna go crazy on it. I'm just saying stay tuned because it's gonna be fun. All right, I promise you this. It's gonna be fun. And if it's not, just shit on me for it. Just make me feel awful. I deserve it. No, don't. I mean, unless you want to do that, I don't care. You do you. You can be supportive or not. I don't really. Whatever you're gonna do. Y'all are cool. You're cool people. Thank you for tuning in. This episode is Stranded Deep in conversation. If y'all have any wacky phone stories, let me know. I'm sure that how this episode, every episode of this, whenever I hit end record, which I'm still recording, right? Okay, yes. Whenever I record this and I hit end, I always remember certain details or certain stories that I didn't say in the last episode, like with a NSP concert. I'm sure there was something that I remembered, but now that I hit record, I forget it. So, yeah, there was something specific about it. But either way, so maybe next time I'll wind up starting with a new segment about things I should have spoken about last time. Who knows? But yeah, so thank you all again for tuning in. I said, but yeah, again. Who cares? So thank you all for tuning in, and hope you had a great time. So yeah, let me know about your stories. So that'll be it. Bye bye now, y'all. Have a good day.